Today we are going to study spermatogenesis in mammals. So if you talk about spermatogenesis in mammals, then spermatogenesis is the name given to developmental pathway in which the germ cells develop to form a mature sperm, and it begins at puberty. And as you all know, it occurs in seminiferous tubules in between the Sertoli cells. If you talk about spermatogenesis, then it can be divided into three major phases. First is proliferative phase, where the sperm stem cells or spermatogonia increases in number by mitosis. In the second phase, which is termed as meiotic phase, it involves two divisions which create a haploid state, and the last stage is post-meiotic, which is also known as shaping phase or spermiogenesis, during which the round cells or spermatids eject most of their cytoplasm and become a streamlined sperm. This is a figure which shows the sperm maturation. As you can see here, we have two type of spermatogonia. We have type A and type B. I will come into detail of these later on, but the only thing you have to observe here is the location of spermatogonia, spermatocyte and spermatids. You can see that as the developmental stages proceeds, they move towards the lumen. That means spermatogonia are present near the wall of seminiferous tubule, then primary spermatocytes are toward the lumen, then you have secondary spermatocytes, and then you have spermatids finally, which are present, uh, which are going to form the sperms, and which are then going to be present inside the lumen. Now this slide shows the first phase of spermatogenesis, that is proliferative phase. In this only mitosis takes place, and it begins with the mitotic division of spermatogonia. Spermatogonia are the cells which are basically derived from gonocytes, which in turn are derived from primordial germ cells. I told you last year that primordial germ cell originates somewhere in yolk sac, and then they migrate to gonads, and depending upon where they land up, it will either become testes or it will become an ovum. So primordial germ cells give rise to gonocytes, and gonocytes become differentiated into spermatogonia. Now these spermatogonia are going to reside in between Sertoli cells and interstitial cells. Now the thing is, the spermatogonia which is formed initially is of type A spermatogonia, and this type A spermatogonia will then further divide mitotically to form type B spermatogonia. But whether type A will give rise to type B or will renew itself will depend upon the factors present. If GDNF, that means glial-derived neurotrophic factor and stem cell factor, is present, then type A spermatogonia will give rise to another type A spermatogonia. Whereas if the concentration of BMP, yani bone morphogenetic protein, and WNTs is more as compared to GDNF and SCF, then type A spermatogonia will differentiate into type B spermatogonia. Is that clear? So basically what happens, primordial germ cells give rise to gonocytes, gonocytes give rise to spermatogonia, spermatogonia then develops into type A spermatogonia, then type A give rise to type B spermatogonia if BMPs and WNTs are present. If they are absent, then type A spermatogonia will renew itself. That means it will produce another type A spermatogonia. In this slide, once type B spermatogonia is produced from type A spermatogonia, then it is going to give rise to primary spermatocyte again by mitosis, and it is this primary spermatocyte that will then enter meiotic phase. Fine. Then it will produce secondary spermatocyte, then it will produce spermatid, and spermatid then will differentiate to form sperm. As I have already mentioned, all these development stages move towards the lumen. Fine. Now, this is the diagram which summarizes what we have studied so far. See, type 8 spermatogonia will either give rise to type B spermatogonia, or it will give more type A spermatogonia. I have already told it depends upon the factors present. If BMP and WNTs are more, then type A is going to differentiate into type B, and all this is mitotic. Then type B will give rise to primary spermatocytes, again mitotically, and it is from primary spermatocyte that secondary spermatocyte arise by meiosis, and then secondary spermatocytes undergo second meiotic division, and finally spermatids are formed. Now the thing you should see here is that up till spermatids there is cytoplasmic bridges. That means each of the spermatogonia, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, and even spermatids, they are basically connected to each other. That means there is free exchange of cytoplasmic material between these cells. Now the last phase of spermatogenesis is post-meiotic phase. That means the phase which takes place after meiotic division. This is known as spermiogenesis, or it is also known as spermatilliosis. Fine. And in this, there is a major change in the spermatid morphology, and a non-motile spermatid gets converted into a motile spermatozoa or sperm. In humans, the progression from spermatogonial stem cells to mature spermatozoa takes 65 days, and last third of it is taken by spermiogenesis. The mammalian haploid spermatid is rounded, unflagellated cell that looks like nothing like a mature vertebrate sperm. Now the sperm has to attain certain features to make it capable to fertilize an egg, and the most important feature is motility. Up till now, spermatid is non-motile. So this non-motile spermatid has to differentiate to form a flagellated structure which will be known as sperm. For fertilization to occur, the sperm has to meet and bind with the egg, and spermiogenesis prepares the sperm for these functions of motility and interaction. And first step of spermiogenesis is the construction of acrosomal vesicles from Golgi apparatus. This acrosomal vesicle is very helpful in dissolving the egg membranes during fertilization. The acrosome forms cap that covers the sperm nucleus. As the acrosome cap is formed, the nucleus rotates so that cap will be facing the basal lamina of the seminiferous tubule. So acrosome cap बनने के बाद nucleus rotate कर जाता है so that cap is going to face the basal lamina, and why this rotation is necessary? Because the position of the centriole has to be shifted because it is required to form the flagella. During the last stage of spermiogenesis, the nucleus flattens and condenses, and the remaining cytoplasm is shedded off. It condenses, most of the organelles, most of the nuclear material is shedded off, and the mitochondria form a ring around the base of the flagellum. During spermiogenesis, histones of spermatogonia are replaced by histone variants, protamines. Histones are basic proteins, but during spermiogenesis, these histone proteins which are present in spermatids are replaced by another basic protein which is protamine. The replacement results in complete shutdown of transcription in the nucleus and facilitate the nucleus assuming an almost crystalline structure. The resulting sperm then enter the lumen of seminiferous tubule. Now, this slide shows the complete process of spermiogenesis, which is basically the last step of spermatogenesis. In this case, you can see the centriole divides into two. One centriole will be required for formation of flagella in the sperm, whereas other centriole will enter the sperm, will enter the egg along with the sperm nucleus, because this is the centriole which will help in spindle formation after fertilization. Then we have another change in Golgi apparatus. This Golgi apparatus is going to form the acrosomal vesicle, which basically forms the cap at the tip of the nucleus. Then mitochondria is going to arrange around the tail region. Why? Because mitochondria will provide all the energy required for the movement of flagella and hence for the movement of the sperm. Maximum of the cytoplasm present in sperm will be shedded off.